What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some Destiny 2 news. It's Thursday, so we get This Week at Bungie, which of course is their weekly blog post. And as always, there are a handful of updates to cover in the video today. Official Bungie news channels are linked down below if you want to check any of these things out. One of the first components that Bungie have been posting in the past day or so consist of some sort of mini trailers for the new race of enemies that we're going to see in the final shape. These of course are the Dread, and as well as the need enemies, their new abilities. In the footage, we also get a look at a bunch of the weapons for the Pale Heart destination. So you'll spot some interesting bits in there, and here are the clips we have so far. So those are pretty cool, and I'm sure we can expect to see more of them in the near future. Next up though in the TWID, Bungie provide a whole bunch of really cool wallpapers for the final shape. You can see some of the images on screen, but if you want to grab any of these for PC or mobile, Bungie have links in the TWID, and that's in the description box below. Next up though, very importantly, Bungie talk about how power will work in the final shape, and they say we've revisited the power systems and overhauled the UI to make power more intuitive and approachable. And so firstly, there is Fireteam power, and this means that the player with the highest power level in the fire team will become the power leader, and all of the players in the fire team will be brought up to 5 power below the power leader if their power isn't already higher. And fire team power only affects activity difficulty, and your adjusted power will still determine the power of your rewards. They do say though that being a power leader will also give you a boost to any commendations earned at the end of an activity, so that's cool. And next, power level will be displayed next to the activity power cap right by the launch button, so you can easily determine how difficult the activity will feel. So it shows our power as well as the current activity's power level. And when power is increased by Fireteam power, they say your adjusted power will take its place. And that's also displayed on the screen right there as well. So that's a pretty cool system. And we'd heard a little bit about Fireteam power previously, but that clarifies a couple of elements of it. Next up though, they talk about removing power limits from legacy gear. And they say after thoroughly considering the problem space of increasing things like Fireteam power, they've come to the decision to remove power limits from all gear starting in the final shape. And they say we want to rally all Guardians, active and new, to fight the Witness, and there's no better way to play Destiny than with your fire team. But as we pursued this goal, it became apparent that power limits were fundamentally incompatible with Fireteam power. They do say we understand that many old power limit items have been dismantled at this point, and we regret that we have no mechanism to recover them. But going forward, they intend to reintroduce sources for most or all of these, updated to modern Destiny 2 sandbox standards with added properties such as origin traits and build crafting perks, similar to what they've done with the Brave Arsenal with Into the Light. So we can expect to see a lot of stuff return, and that will probably happen throughout the episodes as well. So that's really interesting. Give us your thoughts below. They do also say though that they've reworked power bands, and the resulting power bands in the final shape will be that the power floor is 1900, with the soft cap being 1940, the powerful cap being 1990, and the hard or pinnacle cap being 2000. So all the way up to 2000 with the final shape. And they also say that the power level of activities will become easier to understand with final shape as well, and they'll be divided into either power disabled or power enabled. And power disabled activities play the same for everyone, no matter their power level, and anyone at any level can jump right in and experience them to the fullest. As such, increasing your power won't change the difficulty you experience, and you can't overlevel the enemies in these activities. But power-disabled activities include campaigns, both normal and legendary difficulties, seasonal story missions, free roam destinations, Crucible, and some legacy content. And so some things are being mixed up pretty significantly right here. And they say power-enabled activities, by comparison, are where you grow stronger by improving your power, and these each have an activity power cap or a power level at which you need to have achieved for maximum effectiveness. So they're improving the UI to show us exactly what these activity power caps are, and enemies will have a set feel for how tough they are even at the cap, but you'll notice yourself getting stronger as your power level grows, and power-enabled activities include Vanguard playlists, Nightfalls, seasonal activities, exotic mission rotators, as well as trials, raids, and dungeons. And they say every power-enabled activity falls into one of 5 difficulty tiers or 1 unique mode. So the standard difficulty tier will have an activity power cap of 1945, and example activities are Vanguard Ups, seasonal activities, exotic missions, raids, and dungeons. Then there is Advance, which was previously Hero, and that'll be at power level 1995, and that includes Nightfalls. Then there's Expert, which was previously Legend difficulty, and this will be at power 2005, including Lost Sectors, Nightfalls, seasonal activities, and exotic missions. Then there is Master, which will be at 2010, and that's Nightfalls, Lost Sectors, Raids, and Dungeons. Grandmaster at 2020 for Nightfalls, and Contest Mode at 1965 for the Day 1 raid. And Bungie say it's worth calling out that gameplay tuning in our existing high difficulty content remains unchanged with these updates, and we're continuing to experiment with new activities that evolve in difficulty throughout the run, such as in Deep Dives, Coil, and Onslaught, and we look forward to continuing to explore ways to make difficult activities engaging and rewarding to conquer. So some very interesting changes to power systems overall right there. Give us your thoughts on what we've had so far, but there is artifact bonus power as well, and they say the way that we earn bonus power from the seasonal artifact is staying the same at its core, but we've rebalanced it to better offer a meaningful and rewarding progression given other upcoming changes. So with the additional time offered by each episode, we're increasing the number of weeks with seasonal challenges, and they'll also be receiving a buff to their XP rewards, but we need to adjust some requirements to the XP for artifact bonus power levels, and the goals for the rebalance were that actively engaged players can attain similar artifact levels achieved by the end of an episode, and that artifact power remains rewarding pursued throughout. But interestingly, Bungie are also introducing account-wide power, and they're lowering the barrier to entry to play multiple classes by introducing this. So in Final Shape, the gear rewards that we earn on any character will drop with the power level relative to the highest power character on your account. So if you level up the power of your Hunter, when you switch over to your Titan or Warlock, the gear rewards that you earn will be around your Hunter's level, and the exact power of rewards will still depend on the source, but power earned on one character will positively influence rewards you find on other characters. And I think personally that sounds like a positive move overall. Of course, there will be some folks that really enjoy having the full grind on all 3 characters, but with so many parts sort of moving around, reward system updates and power updates overall, we'll have to see how it plays out, but it might just be the case that this works out pretty well. Give us your thoughts about it. And finally, Bungie say they're making some improvements to the power of rewards, and they say for some time now, select activities such as ritual playlists have had a chance of dropping a powerful reward with +1 power for players between the soft cap and the powerful cap. And in Final Shape, they're extending this beyond those select activities to just about every reward source in Destiny 2, and this will help players gradually reach the power cap no matter what activities they choose to play, so you aren't limited to just the weekly available powerful rewards. And additionally, they're improving the power of rewards purchased from vendors and collections, and all items purchased from vendors will now drop no lower than 3 below your highest possible power, and items reacquired from collections will be 5 below. So I think some interesting mix-ups right there. Of course, the power system has kind of staled out over the past couple of years especially, so I'm definitely open to seeing some changes. Give us your thoughts down below. Perhaps those changes aren't significant in the way that some players would expect, but I think in this instance a change is better than no change, so give us your thoughts down below. Otherwise, in the twid, Bungie point out that Pantheon will start next week on April 30th with 4 of the toughest bosses we've ever faced, and the challenge will escalate over the coming weeks until you have to defeat 8 bosses in a row. And they've already spoken about this a little bit, but that kicks off on Tuesday. Let us know if you're looking forward to it. And finally, they also say welcome to hardware. And next week, Crucible Labs will feature hardware supremacy, and the hardware modifier disables all abilities, including movement abilities like dodge and Icarus dash, although players can still use powered jump abilities. And it puts the focus on gunplay, collecting heavy and special ammo from crates, as well as crests of course, as Bungie pay close attention to how this modifier is received. So let us know if that's one you're interested for as well. But for today guys, that's what we have to speak about. So as always, share your thoughts below. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to get subscribed for more Destiny content, and a like rating below really does help us out on the channel as well. Otherwise though, cheers for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys very soon.